Good morning, everybody. No sound. Sound check. Can folks hear me? Oh, Alexandra, you can hear me. Ken says sound a touch faint. Is that still the case? I can boost us up. Right, I have no sound here. Simon's got no sound. Alexandra and Ken, can you just confirm if you have any sound for me? Better. That sounds promising. That's just me having taken the HDMI cable out. Sound is okay. Okay, folks. You're going to have to keep me on the straight and narrow because I don't seem to have any audio output at my end. So if the sound gets a little bit faint or too loud, let me know. I don't really want to. I've got a reboot thumbnail set up, but I don't really want to use it if I can avoid it, because you never know. I think we're going to have a runway change probably between now and 10 o'clock. I was rather hoping that they had done the honours. Anyway, good news is, yeah, thanks Ali Bye. Look, Layla, thank you. I've steamed my glasses up, sorry if I'm struggling to read. Oh man, right, tell you what, let's just open up as I normally like to. So, good morning everyone. I don't know why I'm wearing the headphones. I've just realised that I've clearly got no idea what I'm saying. Well, I know what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. So let's dispense with the headphones and I'll rely on you to keep me straight. So, let's have a quick look see in the chat first before we open the show formally. Political Bias, good morning to you, sir. Hope you're keeping well. Ken Alloway, Alibi58, Superstar Mods, good morning to you both. I wasn't expecting to see you at this stage of proceedings, but I'm delighted nevertheless. Fantastic. Let's have a look. Alexandra Wood, good morning to you, we've just spoken. Simon, of course, good morning to you. Qatar Aviation 6342, hello to you. I don't think I've met you before, but we'll do the introductions formally in a minute. Galloping down the list, my sound faults. Yeah, Alexandra, the buzzing you'll get, and this is the disadvantage I have, it's the radio mast behind me, and every so often the microphone grabs it. Usually how I work around it is I unplug the shotgun mic. Quid pro quo to that is you lose something in the way of sound quality. But if that's proving too much of a nuisance, folks, we'll unplug it for a bit and re-plug it in. Right, Christopher Boys, welcome back, my friend. Very well this morning, in a very excitable state of things, really. So, good morning and welcome back at Edinburgh again. I'm looking down here and I recognise all the names pretty much from yesterday evening's pop-up chat, which was stream, which was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyable evenings plane spotting from a fabulous airport. Oh, I can see Air Malta pushing back, so I'm going to get the right side of the camera. I can talk and point the camera. Practicing my multitasking. There we go. Now I do love this livery. I've only ever seen this once before at Newcastle, of all places. I made the special trip just to film it. It's just gorgeous, and against that sky, I reckon even better. Well, don't worry, Alexandra, because I can turn the sound down. Let me just tweak the sound down a smidgen on the monitor. We'll see how we do. Yeah, Ken, you're dead right, mate, as long as it doesn't sting. I had hoped to be down here at 6:30 to film that C40A that was due in from Portsmouth, but I chickened out in the end. I was up in good enough time, but I was really concerned that I'd get over to Kirkliston side, which is where I'm standing at the minute, looking at runway 24 arrivals, and they'd switch up on the runway, because the wind change is still expected to materialise, and I think yesterday had 2 or 3 runway changes as well. I think the good news is that the wind strength at the minute, and we'll do the weather forecast, in fact I'll do the weather forecast now. I have to look at my notes though, because memory's not that good. So, talking about winds, at the minute forecast says around 2 to 3 miles an hour, around 2.6 knots, so pretty gentle stuff. Gusts at around 5 to 10 mile an hour. At the 10 mile an hour end, that will be about 8.7 knots. I don't even think there's 5 mile an hour of gusts going on at the minute. So my understanding is they won't change the runways over even if the wind moves to a full easterly, or they have the option of not doing so if the wind speeds are under 5 knots. So maybe we'll be lucky. Weather, 10% chance of rain overall. We'll have to take those odds. 9 degrees, rising to 14 by show's end at around 1:15. And with the wind being, I think it is, as it's transitioning round, might be in theory northerly. So either which way, runway 24 is currently in use. So the planes are arriving over the Firth of Forth, which I don't think that's going to move, is it, if I quickly take us here. And I know many of you know this view anyway, but Firth of Forth, that away. And while we're just panning the shots, the freight park and the business jet terminal, all in that zone. That United jet is still there, although it looks like a DHL is now in shot. There's a few biz jets in today, and presumably a few to go. We'll see. So runway here, 2,558 metres long, and I'm told we're 136 feet above sea level. But that doesn't sound a lot. Not that I'm an expert in such things. Right, action. So I make it around 101 movements during the show. That would break down 56 arrivals and 45 departures. I missed the Boeing C-40 Clipper, but hey ho. We're looking at the Malta Air 737, which was is good to see. We've also got an Air Charter Scotland Cessna 560XL and a Zenith Aviation Learjet 75 later in the show. And you know how much I love the biz jets, I'm sure I'm not the only one. We've got the United 757-200 in. I've not looked at its run time. Could almost be here for all I know. I'm just taking a snap of that, sorry folks. And one for mum. Right, fantastic. Not literally for mum, but you know what I mean, one for the bank. I'm told these are Finnair, ooh, bizjet arrival. The really nice gentleman that's standing to my left, Dane, who's a keen photographer, was telling me about this one. Thinks it was coming from Nottingham. I think he's right on that. Oh, I don't know actually, what am I about? Rapide. So what a way to see him Monday. Let's check our air motor's not skedaddled too quickly. Right, I was talking, wasn't I, about highlights of the day. So we've got the United 75, we've got Delta 767, two beautiful heavies. Finnair Baby Bus A319. Dane was telling me, the chap I was referencing a few seconds ago, that that's in the One World livery. So that would be a nice catch. I'd appreciated that. I was excited enough to see the baby bus in Finnair colours. Turkish Airlines 321. We also have the regular Norwegian flight in, and as folks know, I've belatedly discovered the interest around the tail fins. Today's apparently is a guy called Alexis Kivi, Finland's national author. I'm not quite sure what his works include. Kind of wondering whether Logan Air will do something similar with J.K. Rowling, amongst others. We've also got the Qatar Airways 787 Dreamliner, which would be the finale plane for the show if it came in at its scheduled 13:15, but last I looked it was running around half an hour early. We won't finish half an hour early, as long as there's stuff to fill the gaps, we'll stream it, but planned run time is till 1:15. Anyway, let's catch this as it goes. Alexandra, no, I think you were right, it's a buzz jet. You were thinking about that radio mast thing, weren't you? Gorgeous though, yeah. Makes you wonder what the occupants are doing with their day, doesn't it? Is it business, pleasure? I just want to say as well, while I've got so many of you that I recognise from yesterday's show, thank you so much. Enjoyed both of them, but the way we finished here yesterday evening was just a great way to finish the day. Well, thanks Christopher boys. So I'm driving home to cloudy and grey in Newcastle, am I? It feels bright here, but the cloud is reasonably thick. Yes, I'm just looking at the comments about skimiters and sharklets and sweatbacks, I suppose, and end fences, and probably 3 or 4 other variations I've not even contemplated. Yeah, it's very much a niche thing. Excuse me folks, I'm just stopping a cereal bar. Bad form, I know, but I did get a bit of breakfast before I came out actually, but still hungry. You see, if they'd switched the runways to 06, I would have made that a very long breakfast. Because the Holiday Inn, for those of you who know Ingliston, is literally across the road from the airport. Just take a leisurely stroll onto the showground car park. Yeah, that's a nice sight. Somebody's on finals. Apologise, I'm sure it's been called in the chat. Check that sky out. Thank you, Christopher Boys. Next arrival, a BA City flyer from London City. An Embraer 190 standard. Sounds like somebody's having some fun out there. Not so much fun for whatever's being shot at, but as long as it's not me. So what we got on the apron? Let's have a quick look see before our incoming British Airways gets closer. So we got this Jet 2 Tenerife flight, 737. I do wonder if we'd start seeing some Jet 2 A321s here actually. I know they tend to be more Manchester and some, you know, other big airport type things, probably Stansted I'm guessing. I see a Ryanair nosing out to go somewhere. Very graceful. So it looks like things are perking up a little bit. So good morning to anybody that has just joined the show. I'm Mark, your host of Plain Sailing Aviation. A warm welcome to Edinburgh on this really pleasant spring day. Plenty of action in store. So thank you for spending some time with us. Hopefully you'll be able to stay with us for much if not all of the show, but obviously many of you have got work and other things to do. Either which way, we're here, you know where to find us. So as I think Ken was saying earlier in the chat, if you like what you see, what a sky. I keep on about the sky, I'm just thinking, might want a couple more snaps with that. I think that's the thing about Edinburgh, there's always a good sky to be had, well, often. Right. Just lost my train of thought momentarily there, getting excitable as I do. So yeah, on air till 1:15. Somebody's on finals. Let's have a look what's saying in the chat. Thank you, Ali Bye. Aer Lingus ATR 72 on finals from Belfast. Good morning, Audrey McDonald. Hope you're well. I'm told the weather in the northeast is pretty gloomy. Well, cloudy. Probably take dry though. If it dries my back garden out so I can get the lawnmower across it for the first time this season, I'll be delighted. I won't chase this. I'm getting all excessively ambitious there. Yeah, thank you, Alexandra. The Jet 2 that is parked behind the Ryanair, blimey, the Ryanair you were looking at, of course I'm not on it now, am I? Get a grip, Mark. Is off to Tenerife, and as I always say, lucky things. I might say that I don't need plane spotting flip-flops to live stream with, but I guarantee you I'll need them if I'm off to Tenerife. And of course, if we ever do a live stream from Tenerife, that'll be an interesting crossover, won't it? I'll have to fess up to streaming in flip-flops, I suppose. To this Embraer as it turns off. Ryanair 737 is just lining up at the minute, so let's have a little piece of this. No, without delay. So yeah, if you do like what you see, please do hit the like button, subscribe to us. Both of those things help us massively with YouTube and cost you absolutely nothing. And as we always say, hitting that notification bell is good to stay in touch. Completing that line of thought, we did launch memberships yesterday, as I see British Airways A321 arriving from Heathrow. Let's just park up ready. So we did launch memberships yesterday. Fantastic take up, so thank you everybody that took membership or gifted a membership, and hopefully if you were lucky recipient of a gift, you'll get fantastic use out of it and reflect that we're hopefully worth staying with. So that's also an option. I did say Eddie was working on my introduction video. He messaged me yesterday to say it's now there. If you click on the dollar button, you get the option, I think, of the video. He failed in his quest to make me look 40 though. More on that in a minute. I think he did a good job with the video. Unfortunately, his old man looks more like Hans Moleman off The Simpsons. Those of you who know who Hans Moleman on The Simpsons is. Anyway, by the by, joking aside, well, half joking anyway, that's also another option. So we'll stay with this Aer Lingus ATR 72. Not quite sure where this one's going. I'm sure it's called in the chat. I've just not got that tab open at the minute. I know it will have been called, so... Oh, in fact, it's not going anywhere. It's the one that came in. You usually turn off into the front part of the apron, don't you? Anyway, by the by. Tenerife. Let's get the Tenerife Express, courtesy of Jet2. As soon as that 321 exits, we'll be rolling, I think. Doesn't seem to be an awful lot from the sky nearby. Although we do have a Bristol baby bus. Bristol baby bus. There's a lot of bees in that. Courtesy of EasyJet next. While we await our EasyJet incomer, we'll track back with British Airways. Assuming that's going to park up pretty much opposite us as well, so we might get to see the countdown board. Might. Okay, faint volume, Ken says. Ken, staying with your ears on this one. How about now? I don't know if it's because I've stepped away. In fact, let me just try boosting it up a tidge more. Just boosted up again, or I believe I have. I'm loath to touch too much if I don't have to, folks, but if you think I need to, I will do, because I'm very mindful we'll probably have to do a reboot when the runways switch over, and I think the reboot will probably clear the fault. Good morning, Michelle Johnson. How are you? There's always a challenge. Are you getting the plane noises okay? My various warblings, as much as I enjoy them, and hopefully, you know, you good people do too, you know, the planes, you've got to hear the planes. It feels really odd with no sound at all. Right, baby bus. But I've literally tried everything bar the reboot, so you kind of figure that's what's going to be needed. It was a nanosecond there where I thought, is that going back around? Ah, oh, just missed it. I love watching it count down. Right, back in the chat, folks. I'm sorry if I've missed anything directed to me. I did ask a couple of questions around sound, didn't I? Good morning, Carl Shield. I spotted you. Paul Rusher, good morning to you. So if I've not got to you yet, bear with me. I take a bit of getting going in the morning. I think I'm caught up. Miles? So I missed you, Miles. Sorry, I don't know if we've spoken before. I'm Mark, your host for this morning, and I think I might be there or thereabouts. Simon Kirby, that's hilarious, Mark. Which bit? I don't know. I suspect you mean my similarity with Hans Molman, but I don't know. Alexandra, sound a little better. See you, Dane. Melopan78, good morning to you. Pleasure to be in Scotland. It's just always good stuff to look at. So that was the incoming Airbus 321. We have, which I think, well, let's loiter on the Wizz Air for the minute. I'm not sure from here what we've got. Let's just come back one. I'm going to say I think that's a 320, but the fuselage doesn't give me the perspective, so I'm probably wrong. Ken, good luck with them decorators. I'm quite envious actually. Mrs. Plain Sailing Aviation, she relies on a, well, what do we say, less professional service through yours truly. So whereas you're going to have yours all done by May, I'll be working my way through the rooms in our house with an idea of finishing by July. We'll see. So, quick pause gives me a chance to take stock of things at this end. It's always the same excitement at the beginning. I love it, but there's always something, isn't there? And I think today the sound fault's the one that's properly caught me. Just have another snack bar, folks. This one will make less crunching now, I promise you. It looks like we've got an EasyJet, and it's due out at 8:30. Get 3:30. A320. You see that bleeping? What else is bleeping? Tell you what, let's have this baby bus while it's tracking right under us. So where did the weekend go? So the hotel last night, that was okay. Okay, relative to the money, it's the Ryanair thing really, isn't it? Convenience and whatever. Talking of Ryanair, I can see a Ryanair moving, which I think is the Dublin outgoing flight. Got a complimentary drink when I got there, so that Guinness I was talking about, that was on the house, so that was nice. Downside was they hadn't got it on draft, it was actually out of a can. But hey ho, the heart wants what it wants. And I'm in anguish between curry and pizza. I went for something fairly bland actually, a margarita. I was almost too tired to eat it, to be truthful. Miles, nice and relaxing Edinburgh plane spotting. Yep, I think this is a super place for that. I'm looking forward to coming back in the summer, simply because obviously the warmer it is, be able to sit out with a floppy hat and a t-shirt. I'm sure we get a couple of weeks like that here, bound to. But yeah, it is nice. Now, here's the thing, I'm looking at Simon Kirby. He discovered yesterday that Wizz has an Abu Dhabi branch. Now, Simon, I'm almost too tired to pre-screen this. Go on, do tell. And if you can see my face, you'd appreciate it. It's full of mirth. Well, Carl, here's the thing. go looking at the Guinness. It was a very nice can, and to be fair, it was okay. I mean, clearly draft is always going to be better. I get that, but you know what? It hit the spot. It was like some form of anaesthetic, to be truthful. I just took it back to the room. So here we are, Ryanair's Dublin Express. Turnhouse in the background, the hamlet that gave this aerodrome its original name, RAF Turnhouse. I often think standing here, you know, when you try and use your imagination to imagine all the different Air Force jets and the likes, planes that flew here from the 40s onwards. In fact, it was a Royal Flying Corps aerodrome when it first opened back in 1915 or thereabouts. There's a lot of history here. So I see the numbers are ticking up, viewing wise, so good morning to anyone that's just joined us. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Mark, your host for Plain Sailing Aviation. Thank you for deciding to spend some time with us this Monday morning. Whatever you're doing, I hope it goes well for you. Dawn of a new week and all that, as we'll just rest the camera on this Aer Lingus A320. Simon, see you later, mate. School run to do. Yep, of course the kids are, I think, pretty much everywhere back now, aren't they, after the Easter break, if they're not back already. So no worries. Carl, you still owe me a pint. You can't be counting that as the pint. Good morning, Miles Harrison. All the way out there in Australia. How are you doing, my friend? So let's have a little look, see along the horizon. Tell you what, we'll just give you a quick pan round, folks, so particularly for anyone that's new to the show. So indulgence for those who've, you know, please indulge me, those who've already seen. So camera pointing that way, which is the way they're taking off at the minute. That's the 06 end over towards Newbridge Village, and I'm expecting by 10 o'clock we might have to reboot the stream and move to the other side of the airfield. Because if I stay here, you won't get to see the action in quite the same way. The planes will be well on the way up and the landings will just be rolling out, which I don't think is the best viewing experience. Not if there's a choice in the matter. That would take me off air for about 45 minutes to an hour though, so I'll check what you want. We are a viewer-led channel at the end of the day, so if you want me to stay, I'll stay, but there's the training fuselage. Sometimes you see them doing drills when we're here. In fact, when we packed up yesterday, they were doing something down there, lots of blues and twos. It didn't look like an incident. I think it was just shift change. They'd just changed the shift or something and were getting whatever drills they needed under the belt. And then we come round to the apron at the front, Pentland Hills in the background. There's the tower, quite an iconic tower here. Another one of those with the wasted design, which seems to be quite popular these days. They often light this one up. Purple's the colour I've got in my head, but I think they do other colours to commemorate different things. And then we get to the frontage, or frontage as viewed from here. You know, I said it was a 10% chance of rain. Well, there you go. I can feel little spots. I think we are neat and tidy on wet weather protection. Just having a quick look round, see how fast I can respond. There's our 321 from Heathrow. Wizz Air. I'm not quite sure when they go out, but I think they're probably going to be out within the next hour, if not sooner. I was looking at the incoming movements today, but without the aid of a mug of tea. I got my tea later, you see, and then we move over to the business jet part. Now, is that? Aye aye, chicken pie. I think that is the Boeing C-40A that came in this morning, a 737 variant for It looks obviously very similar. Came in, I was going to come and film it and show you the clip during the show because we've got the ability to do that. The problem was that with expecting a runway change, the danger was I come all the way over here to film it, they switch the runway, I don't get to film it, and then I've wasted all the time, and then I start late for today's show, which I didn't want to inflict on you. But hopefully we'll get to see it go, who knows. And then we've got a bit of bizjet action, so I think that was our incomer from Nottingham. Sorry it's a little bit hazy at that distance, we are a bit more at range. There are a few bizjet movements in the show, so always makes me happy, camper. And we've still got that United Airlines, I think it's a 7-6, but I'm not sure if I'm 100% certain. It was parked up yesterday evening. Les Donaldson said it came here as a Heathrow divert. Seems to have been here ever since. Can't think that's inexpensive. And there we go, some of the freighters. And then if I take the camera around a bit further, just to complete the visage. So this is runway 24 end, and as we were saying a few minutes ago, Turnhouse Village, Hamlet, whichever you want to call it, that gave the original RAF base here its name. That, you can probably make out the distinction, the straight line there is the railway line, so regulars on the show will be aware that you often see trains cut across the back of planes that are lining up. Always makes a nice shot. Sorry folks, that's me doing what I do every show, kicking the tripod, not intentionally. And if we come round here, we have the River Almond in the background. And just for completeness, and I know many of you have heard this, I don't know if I can get all the way around actually. I think we might be at the limit of what I can do. Can I do a little bit more? Let's see. Yeah, of course I can. Just got to try a bit harder, ain't you? And there's the infamous radio mast, which is a real boom to us from a signal point of view, no question, but shotgun tends to pick a bit of wine up off it. So, that was a quick canter. I think I'll rest us up near the tower for the minute. Sorry if I've missed anything in the chat. David Bone, good morning to you. Let's just go further back. Perhaps I've missed quite a lot. Just caught Michelle's comment on sound. Thank you for that, Michelle. Alibi, yes I did. It was just a margarita though. I wasn't feeling in a sort of expansive mode. Literally I got back to the hotel, got my pizza. Complimentary drink I was saying earlier on was well, you have what you wanted, but I'd fancy the Guinness. Sadly it was only in a can, but hey ho, just carted everything back to the room. I was just bushed, proper bushed. But I enjoy both. Right, let's have a look. So, Miles is hanging on to the summer at 24 degrees and blue skies. Oh, bit of a chillier night. Oh yeah, 10 degrees. Come on Miles, I reckon I'm doing that around now. Although saying that, it's not cold. Good morning to Martin Reed. I think I've said good morning, I'm Mark. I think we may have met before actually, but I'm still warming up. Miles, see you later mate. I was saying earlier, it is that school run. We're back to business as usual, aren't we really? Somebody's on finals, which is all good. And Alibi has kindly confirmed that is a KLM 737. I was saying earlier on when we opened the show, the Finnair baby bus that, ooh, Wiz is pushing back as well. We'll have a piece of this for a minute. The A319 baby bus that's rostered to come through. I haven't got the time in my head, but those of you that use Flight Radar will know it. That is in the One World livery, so that'll be a nice catch for us, I think. Complimentary drink, Carl. I'd love to say it's because they were ardent fans of plain sailing aviation. However, no, I've got a loyalty card with Holiday Inn from when I was still in the workplace, and yeah, it's one of the things they do. Back in the day, I think you used to get a newspaper as well, which was quite good. But no, still, I did say I had to ask for it. I said, "Do you still do the welcome drink?" And she says, "Oh yeah," but she was quite. I think I was probably going to be going to my room without. Anyway, by the by, I think it'd been a long day for the lady that checked me in as well. So there's no criticism implied there. She was ace. Anyway, here's Aviation's friendliest livery. Happiest, or one of them. And I think, as I was reflecting on a recent stream, they're also rather good to travel with as well. Having recently flown to Amsterdam with them, I think I go on about it so much, partly because I hadn't flown during the pandemic, and partly because it was so good. Dopey Gorp, good morning to you! In and amongst the emojis, good stuff. Yeah, Michelle, smiley face, optimism. That's the thing I get off KLM's livery, optimism. I genuinely feel optimistic. So I reckon our next action is going to be the Whiz that we're looking at. Off to Bucharest. As I thought, a 320. The EasyJet that is bound for Gatwick at 8:30, which, quick look at my watch says is running a tad behind, is, I think it's this one. Can't see enough of it to train the camera for the minute though. Yeah, that's what I think it is, just looking at the flight radar map. Anyway, let's have a bit more. So I quite like the Whiz. Although recent customer satisfaction surveys haven't been particularly complimentary. No worries, Dopey Gorp. Pleasure to see you, my friend. Did Mrs. Dopey Gorp like the flowers that you were getting yesterday? Oh, thank you, Michelle, hitting the like button. An alibi for a very timely prompt, because I'm always forgetting these things, or I don't remember perhaps as much as I should. Yeah, please do give us that boost, folks. If you like what we do, please support us with that like, and if you're not yet subscribed, please consider it, and of course hit the notification bell. None of those things will cost you a penny piece and help us massively with YouTube. I mean, bottom line is, as long as you're watching, we're grateful to have you with us, but they are really practical ways you can support the channel. And it's the same with membership. So as I will say, there's no hard sell from us with memberships, but we launched memberships yesterday. We're delighted with the early take-up, so that was a good day out. But again, memberships aren't mandatory for the channel. Oh, crikey, that Whiz has whizzed. It's whizzed on me. It's whizzed onwards. And look, there you go, there's the 8:30 EasyJet. A mini rush hour. But yeah, the membership offer, that's if you click on the dollar sign, which is somewhere near the chat, beneath the chat. My son Eddie was working on the intro video yesterday, which I've been lamenting how old I seem to appear, but you get the general gist of it anyway. Hopefully folks will consider that that is tempting enough, and of course it helps us support us bring you the action. Everything we're taking goes straight back on the channel. It's as simple as that. Anyway, as I said, there was going to be no hard sell, so there is no hard sell. Tell you what, I'm just going to pull back to the KLM, see if we can get some countdown boarding. That's the other side, isn't it? Or have we just got a bloke with the paddles? No, let's have a board. Dinner as well. Very good. You've got to do it right though, to be fair. Pays you in spades in the longer term, don't it? Of course, this is the moment where I'm kind of expecting Mrs. Plain Sailing Aviation to bomb the chats and say, well, walk your own talk, Mark, but I know she'd only be joking. I like to believe that she's thoroughly delighted with my efforts. Although our anniversary is not till September, so I've got a bit of time to get me act together. Yeah, I suppose Michelle cameras, it's, I don't know, I'm kind of with you really. You know, people say, oh, the camera puts so many pounds on or whatever. It's a bit like listening to your own voice, I suppose. The first time you ever hear your own voice as recorded, it sounds not as it comes out of your mouth. Oop. Let me just taking a snap there, folks, so do indulge me. So you'll have a frozen screen. I'm just going to take this taxiing Aer Lingus A320. What's in front of us. The whiz is holding, it looks like it's letting EasyJet past. So it looks like we're going to have 3 on the spin, departures wise. So continuity of action, folks, so do stay with us. On air till 1:15. Culminating with the arrival of Qatar Airways Dreamliner 787. That is running early, but we will stay on till our advertised time if the action is here. You know, I'm not going to show you nothing just to clock off on time, so to speak. But some good action today. We've got the Finnair A319 in One World livery, I understand. I think we've still got, I don't think we missed the United Airlines 757. It may have come in early and I'm chatting out my hat, but if that is the case, we'll see it go. We have Delta 767 as well, Turkish Airbus A321, and a number of BizJets as well. I think there's a Learjet 75 listed and a Cessna Citation 560XL at some point during the morning, amongst others. So we've got it all, plus turboprop action, generally in the form of Logan Air and Aer Lingus. Right, let's get to our departure. Did we say this was going to Stansted? I kind of think it was. David Harradine, good morning to you, sir. Hope Monday is treating you fine. New week and all that. Yes, Billy Whiz indeed with the old Wizz Air. Now I'm just racking my brains. Was Billy Whiz a character in the Whoopi, the Beezer or the Beano? I'm not thinking Beano, I've got it down to Whizzer. Help me out. Whoopi? Whizzer and Chips, weren't it? Whizzer and Chips, the Whoopi, the Beezer. Ooh, nice train shot in the background. Velopan 78 confirms United Airlines 757 due in 20 minutes. Excellent, we get to see it both ways. That's brilliant news. Alexandra, thanks. That's Gatwick, was it? Well, I was close-ish. Alibi's helped me out on the old Billy Whiz front. Visa. Do they even make the visa anymore? Publish it? Probably not. Thanks, Alibi. Harold Ostrich. Good morning from Germany. Welcome back, mate. Pleasure to have you with us. Welcome back also to Paul Heron. Oh, Martin Reed's coming with an alternative. He's going with a Beano for Billy Whiz. I never thought that would be, when I set out this morning thinking, what will we talk about today? Because it's a great thing about the show, anything and anything tends to pop up. But Billy Whiz was not where I imagined it going, but when you think about it, with Wizz Air, it is, I do think subliminally Billy Whiz. So, thanks Alexandra Wood, Aer Lingus off to Dublin. I think we're going. Yep, we are. Coming your way, Carl Shield. Suddenly Aer Lingus are making all the running here. There you go, bit of ATR action, bit of turboprop to get your motor ticking. Ugly ATR sound. You see, I want to go on one of these. I'm not sure that it'll be the smoothest of experiences, but it's kind of like, I had looked to go Dublin the other week on one of these from Newcastle. We just couldn't get the flight price into the price point we wanted. Ryanair, basically, you know, unbeatable I think on that one. There and back for 65 quid each. Plus the fact, it was more to do with the fact you could go Ryanair there and back same day as well, which helped us from a streaming point of view. Some barking going on there. Other side of the river there is a field full of dogs which I think are being trained in something. Gun dogs perhaps? I think they might be gun dogs. No, I'm not sure. Anyway, they might just be being walked. I can see about half a dozen of them. I think want a lot of poop bags for that. Melopan. What you like, just looking at your cracks. Oh dear, I'll not attempt any kind of accent, I have enough trouble with my own. Right, all lined up for Bucharest. Showtime pending, folks. Fasten your seatbelts, ready to roll. Love them or not, bit of turboprop next. Looks like the Embraer 190 that's bound for London. Oh, crikey, I've just lost it, folks. There you go, it's over here. I was just looking to see what was going next. I thought I could hear a start up. I think the London City flight is about to push back. Have a little look-see. You can probably hear the engines idling. So we'll stick with that one for the minute. Our United Airlines 757 looks like that is, what, 10 minutes away probably, something in that region. So United Airlines pretty much inbound. This will be gone by then. David Harradine, you know what I'm going to say, mate. Don't keep asking that question on this show. You're welcome to join us to watch the planes, but I'm going to have to keep asking you not to do it, mate, because it ain't that show. So thanks, Ali Bye. There's loads of other streams that might potentially be more accommodating, but we're just, you know, friendly, respectful chat here, mate. I'm sure there's no harm intended, but you need to grasp that one, because I did say this to you last time you joined us in Edinburgh. Good morning, Chris Louch. I can't. Oh, sorry, Chris. Good morning, Chris. Sorry, I've probably not got Louch. Not getting my vibes going. Yeah, I've got a feeling they probably are bumpier. Certainly viewed from where I stand. You know, when you're watching them land, they always seem to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm after? Agile. Wasn't quite the word I was wrestling for. When they are picking up the winds and so forth, just before they get wheels down. It looks so exciting though, so I kind of figure, why would you not give it a go? But it's all about money, I suppose. You've always got to weigh it up, haven't you? If you can get to where you want to get in an acceptable degree of comfort. Whereas I'm just wanting to do it just for the crack, if I'm honest. Although I'm kind of prioritising that interest maybe towards flying on one of the Loganair Saab 340s before they drop out of service in June, July. Just not quite sure how that lines up with a plan, but wanting to travel it is, you know, certainly on my possibles list. Although to be fair, my possibles list is pretty long. Anyway, also long is this Embraer 190 SR, not quite as long as the 195 E2 variant, but long enough. Gorgeous sight. Thanks, Ali Bye. Leok. Ah, we see a Leok. Chris, my pleasure to meet you. I'm Mark anyway, so I'd shake your hand if you were here, but you know, either which way, it's always nice to see a new name in the chat. It makes the channel what it is. Carl, you're travelling United, are you, to America? Presumably from Dublin. Yeah, I think I've said on a previous stream about turboprop turbulence many years ago. Mrs. Plain Sailing Aviation and myself went to, sorry but not the camera, Las Vegas. Did the Grand Canyon trip and we flew on whatever variant of turboprop that was. I can just remember now, as we took our seats, all full of optimism, it said on the board behind the captain's cabin, the cockpit, it said, conditions today slightly bumpy. Slightly bumpy. I would not have wanted to have been on that plane if turbulent had been the word that was going to be appearing. I mean, it was up and down and up and down. The seatbelt was almost peeling my shorts off. It was just, and it was like, oh dear. And to be fair, they give you value for money. We were up for about an hour. But of course, anyone that's done the Grand Canyon before will know that it kind of looks much of a muchness once you've seen it. So by the time we got back, we were both feeling thoroughly airsick. Mind you, as you might expect, half an hour later, the thought of some prime ribs, kind of got me over that, you know, cured the feeling. But yeah, I just remember thinking, wow. And of course Mrs. Plain Sailing Aviation was just thoroughly unimpressed. Yeah, I think slightly bumpy might have been what it was the day before, and the pilot just hadn't wiped the chalkboard off or something. Trevor, good morning to you. I hope Monday's finding you in good fettle. Dawn of a new week and all that. Welcome to the stream. Still running at runway 24 end at the minute. Planes coming in from the east over the Firth of Forth. We are expecting a runway change at some point this morning. I think as long as the wind strength doesn't pick up, we could get lucky. But my intuition tells me we might be switched by 10 o'clock, so I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. Frequently wrong. What's that frequently, is it? Not unknown. Say that tactfully. So I think United Airlines must be more or less a mile around the side. I can't see them, but they must be. I think I'll rest us up on this refuelling KLM 737 and see how everybody is doing in the chat. So United Airlines will be with us in a small number of minutes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're over the Firth of Forth, lined up, on the way in, folks. So, bit heavy action. I know some people argue the point of purity as to whether the 7.5 is a heavy or not. For me, they are, and they're a point of beauty as well. So, there you go. Who else is lining up? Oh, and behind that is the baby bus, the Airbus A319 Finnair in the One World livery. So folks, you've got, and I can just see the United Airlines aircraft now. It looks like the North Star as it appears in the sky. So we've got two real good ones back to back. And then, and I know it's a Broadchurch, this plane spotting business, we then have a Belfast EasyJet, which I think will be number 3 on the incomers, an A320. So, all happening. So, don't go away. I mean, you might have a very fast kettle if you want to put a brew on, but don't miss the 757. Chris Layok? Layok! Seriously, mate, thanks for coaching me through the saying of your name. Welcome to Aviation, classmate. An absolute pleasure to have you with us. Fantastic, awesome support, mate. It really does help make the difference to what we do. Ooh, I see a BizJet scooting out, folks. Bit of bonus footage. Mark and his BizJet. But yeah, Chris, thanks, mate. I hope you will consider that an investment worth making. As I say, it really does help us. Looks like they've got a runway check to do once this one lands. So yeah, this is going to hold. So, 757 folks. I'll stop talking because you'll want the sound. was pretty fearful that plane was going to come in early and I'd miss it, as in, you know, pre-stream. So looks like our BizJet is holding still for the EasyJet. Oh, the Finnair, sorry. EasyJet's the one after, isn't it? One World livery on its way in. QC Cat, welcome to Aviator class. Thank you so much for your support. Long time friend of the channel, QC Cats. Thank you so much. Again, I just, you know, I hope you'll find it worth doing. That's the intention. So, welcome aboard. You and Chris have got me beaming. Proper beaming. And QC, I agree, that is elegant. I mean, people call it the flying pencil because I think it's sleek lines, but it's... And when you see it in the her art liveries, the California one and the New York variant, it's better still. It's always the first thing I check when I'm here. Is it going to be a special livery one? Right, anyway, special liveries I mentioned, and now we are into One World. Finnair One World, and Francois Botha, good morning to you. I'll be back to you in a jiffy, Francois. I'll find our plane. There we go. How's that, folks? You see, it's such a simple livery, isn't it, Finnair? Put it on the 350 and, oh, better still. Right, I'm torn here. Tell you what, I think that BizJet will be up before United Airlines 757 gets level with me. So let's have this departure. Chris Layuk, I think they are assigned randomly because I've attended Newcastle before to get a Eurowings, what was it, the Europa Park livery, and it was listed as attending. This is May last year, turned up and they put a regular one on. Luckily we got it a few months later, but no, I think it's very much for the airline to decide that kind of thing. There may be special liveries doing certain special routes, but I think we generally like to move them around to help promote interest in the brand. So I can see the incoming Bristol plane. Perfect. That's a nice shot, isn't it? Train again in the background. That's what's great about filming this side. There you go, we got our cake and eat it. I'll keep an eye on the incoming EasyJets, but gotta love that. I am going to take a snap of the Finnair One World as well when that comes through. I'm hoping I'm going to continue to get to have my cake and eat it. In fact, I'm going to take one now as a bank of bets. Screen will pause momentarily. One more for luck. Let's give you a bit of action. I don't know, special liveries, new members, people watching generally, liking, subscribing, being here at Edinburgh, so many good emotions. I get one more snap, folks, for your indulgence. That's the one. Thank you. I went a bit snap happy. Sorry I couldn't help that. Now let's just check I've not missed. Francois both at you 83. What a jingo. Well listen, 83, 38. Fantastic you're with us. Pleasure to have you with us. QC Cat, that is very kind of you to say so, and a nice showcase of the 4 emojis. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the action, folks. Told you I get excitable. Like a cat in a hot tin roof. So, baby bus out. Yeah, thanks so much QC Cats. Like I say, I'm delighted that you take a membership with us. Kind of EasyJet central, isn't it, at the minute? Case in point. I think when we park this one up, if we get a pause, I'm just going to put a bit of sun cream on. Try not to laugh, folks, but even under a cloudy sky I seem to burn up. You getting those ducks in the background? That was my duck impersonation. Sorry, I've gone a bit behind with the chats. Alexandra Wood, thank you very much. EasyJet from Stansted on finals, an Airbus A320. I've got visual, Alexandra, so thank you for that. I'll pan to it in a jiff. Alibi 58, no worries, pal. I'll catch you in a bit. Hope all goes well for you, mate. Yeah, I'm with you, Trevor. I think the countryside here really does set this apart as a location. We quite enjoy our streaming from Newcastle. It's kind of, you know, in a rural aspect, but I mean, in seriousness, as great as that is, I mean, look at the hills in the background. Although yesterday at Glasgow, similarly, I just think the location is so unique. So we'll be back there sooner rather than later. So as we wait for the Stansted incomer, I'm just going to plonk us on the business, on the cargo jets. Rainier, good morning to you, sir. Coffee's on, yes please. In fact, make mine particularly strong. I'm a bit light on caffeine this morning. Hope all is good with you in Berlin. another one for our EasyJet convention. Right, looks like things might be happening with the KLM 737, so we'll put the camera there for a sec. Give me a chance to catch up with the chat. Great shot, says Alexandra Wood. Thank you so much, Alexandra. I have my moments in both directions. I'm glad Simon Kirby's not in the chat at the minute. He'd be saying, yeah, you know, both directions. Yeah, oh, that's the thing, isn't it? Sun cream, yeah. Just realised. No attention span, me some days. Right, let's. So I'll be chatting away, but I'm going to be slathering myself up. Let's put the specs on. I guarantee you, even if it gets no sunnier than this, I will be possibly red as a beetroot by the end of the day. And of course, as you get older, you kind of think a little bit more about sun damage, because, you know, you think about all those times you were burnt to a crisp in the 70s and 80s before people really bothered with sun cream. Well, certainly I don't really remember it. Right, actually something is hoping into view. Looks like somebody's idea of an ATR 72 perhaps. Maybe it's a 42. I can't really tell at this range. Good news is I'm sunscreen compliant with my factor 50. Get my glasses back on. Plain sailing beanie. Right, let's see what we're getting. For the world, I'm thinking Logan Air. And it is, so it'll be an ATR 42-500. Kind of unique signature note as it winds itself down there. Almost sounds like a bag of bolts. Of course it isn't. Fine piece of engineering. Right. Back to the task at hand. Chris Lauk, living in Austin. Sorry, I'm having a forgetful moment. Are you Austin, Texas, or Austin somewhere else? Try not to laugh and say it's Austin 5 miles outside Edinburgh. My knowledge is not as good as it should be. QC Cap, trust me. You wait till we get to summer proper. Oh dear, right, trying to catch up with the chat before this next one. In fact, let's go to the plane. Miles, well done with the school run, mission accomplished. So, British Airways A320, which, presuming is from Heathrow. 21 minutes on the battery, so we might go for it. I always put the small battery in first so I can put it on charge, which will set us fair then to the end of the show. catch the last few seconds of this Loganair before it parks itself up. So, what's happening over here? British Airways are on the move. Oh my lord. Catching up with stuff. Sorry folks, bear with me. Miles Harrison, welcome so much to the Executive Lounge and thank you so much for your support, my friend. Really, really appreciated. Gobsmacked again, me. But thank you very much, Miles. So kind of you. And I think there was something else I needed to look at there. Hang on a minute. Rainier, yes. Rainier M. Buchel, welcome to Aviator class. Such a pleasure to have you with us. Both of you. It's just, well, just mind-blowing. Fantastic support on membership since we opened them up yesterday. But yeah, you can tell I'm struggling to find all the right words, but thank you so much. It really does help us as a channel. Right, better catch up. That's what I love about this live streaming caper. It never stands still. Chris Laylock, Austin, Texas. Smashing. See, in my mind's eye, I always think of the F1 Grand Prix. That's my first thing I think of if I think Austin, Texas. Always something good to watch. Audrey's on coffee number 2. I think that's quite restrained if I'm honest, Audrey. I literally, at the hotel, I made myself, because it was self-service buffet at that time of day, 2 mugs of tea, so that while I was drinking one, the other one could be cooling, save time, right, you know, and all the rest of it. And yeah, as soon as the show's off, I'm going to go and get a coffee somewhere. They say that caffeine's not good for you, but I think in moderation, it seems to get this 57-year-old moving around. Doping up, thank you very much. Yes, so there are first 4 emojis, and make free with them, members, please. As soon as we can add to them, we're going to, but YouTube restrict you on the number of emojis you can initially have. It must be to do with the number of subscribers or members. I've not got my horizon up to that point yet. I think one thing at a time. Audrey says, Mark, pronounce Rena Buchel. Oh, as in with Rena. I've been mispronouncing your name for weeks then. Rena Buchel. Right, thank you. I'm going to pull that one out the live stream tomorrow, because when I've slept I'll have forgotten. I have to practice it a couple of times. Rena Buchel. Sorry, see, I've just tripped myself up there. Oh, we got to. Rena Buchel. That's what I love about the show. You get to meet people that you would never otherwise meet, and speak unfamiliar words and names. It's just great. Come to parts of the country that you probably wouldn't come to as regularly, although I do like my spotting. Alright, somebody's firing up to move. Money's here with our Airbus A321, but let's take this. I'm all over the place. Get a grip, Mark. Let's get this EasyJet 320 down. Then I might go for a quick battery change. Not my own battery, the camera. I could probably do a change of my own. So what we have here, give me a bit of a frame. To the right, the incoming Heathrow A320 is awaiting the 321 departure, obviously using the same gate. Exactly, Miles. One in, one out. It's like clockwork. Nice when it works that way, isn't it? Audrey's updating me. Ryanair. Honestly, Ryanair, I'll get there. Yeah, I will catch it up, Ryanair. Yeah, inept in the matters of pronunciation, but God love me, I do try my best. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. Right, scooching along. Canalaway, welcome back, my friend. Decorators instructed. Somil Bandari, good morning. How are you? It's fine. Well, fine in sentiment, Monday morning. Just in time to see this British Airways Airbus A321 make its way out to line up. I'm keeping up here, am I? I think what we'll do, we'll stay with the battery I've got in till this one's in the sky, and the Gatwick baby bus that EasyJet are bringing in on finals at the minute. Then do the change. Oh, we're going to get the countdown board. Kid in a sweet shop. EasyJet photobomb me. Sorry, it's a little bit pixely. Okay, very good. There's certainly plenty of EasyJet action here, I think, between them and British Airways. Of course, Ryanair. I think that's probably the largest amount. I think when I did my prep, Heathrow is still the most prevalent route here by numbers of flights. Of course, that is pretty much Heathrow. Sorry, British Airways. Chatting back to front. Okay. Next out, British Airways. Just going to rest the camera there so it will gradually fill your shot. Give me a chance to have a quick look, see at the screen. Audrey, you are so kind. Too kind, I'm going to say, but you're definitely kind. Thank you. Right, game time brought up. So a bit of symmetry from EasyJet, because I can see, I think it's one on its way out. Freeing up the gate for this baby. No, maybe it's not. Maybe it's one that's already in, that's just been waiting for a gate over on the far side. EasyJet corner. Reiner, see you shortly. Oh my lord, what are we doing here? Pete Wright, good morning to you from East Lancashire. What part of, oh, West Lancashire, sorry. Glass is steaming up. That's my defence. What part, my friend? Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm Mark, so to you and anyone that's joined us recently, I'm Mark, your host with Plain Sailing Aviation. We're going to be on air till about 1:15, culminating in theory with the arrival of the Qatar Airways 787 Dreamliner. That, last I looked, was heading towards being a bit early, but we'll stay on air till the advertised finishing time, as long as there is action to show you. It's the whole thing, whole point, isn't it? Right, I'm going to have to go to the battery change, I think. That would be the sensible thing to do. So, Ali by 58, Ken Alloway, Dopey Gorp, battery change incoming. So folks, the screen's going to go blank. Don't go away, it's just me switching over. It'll be down for 5 seconds or less. I do aspire to Formula 1 standards of changeover, but I don't know, let's just see, shall we? So here we go then. Oh, Tony McCall, good morning to you, sir. I hope you are well. Pete Wright, oh, you're just outside Ormskirk. I know what you mean, my friend. Right, battery change, here we roll. Just rest us here. Right folks, you should have me back. I'm just going to pop this battery on charge, so I'll not be on mic for the minute. You might hear me rustling about, but if I forget to charge it, oh my lord, I'm hoping this doesn't indicate we're getting some digger work. One thing at a time. Let's put this battery on charge before I put it in my pocket and then wonder why I've got no battery in 3 hours time. Okay folks, I think we're all batteried up. Oh right, Tony McCall, that is a serious delay with the Delta. That's not going to give us its in and out, but we will extend that 7 or 8 minutes to KLM's on the roll to on the move to Amsterdam. So yeah, I think we will finish the show then with the 767. Kind of feels rude not to. I think the only potential glitch, yeah, oh, they're just chucking grass seed down. That's a relief. So the people that I feared were going to be digging a hole, I think are just making good from the digger work that was here a few weeks ago. Ken Alloway, mate, you always leave me speechless, so thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. You're such a great supporter of the channel. I don't know what to say, but I will say thank you. That's probably the most concise way of doing it. Above and beyond, mate, above and beyond. Thank you. Okay, what we've got here. Now, Sommel, it's more a case I always put my small battery in at the front end of the show, because while the big battery is being run down as it is now, the small one will be charged up in time to give us the advertised finish time. Works out quite neat. I've got a couple of power banks, so I'm kind of not short of that kind of juice. It's just the charge time that's the perennial nuisance. So let's have a dive into what's coming in, what's going out. This is clearly going out, and as I'm fond of saying, KLM don't tend to hang around once they get moving. Time for a quick chug of water. The minute I take the top off this bottle, that plane is going to start moving. Oh, not much in it. I've got a feeling the guys in my foreground, I'll not zoom in on them, yeah, I'm just trying to get their work done, but they've got buckets of grass seed which they're busy sprinkling away, as I was saying a few minutes ago, to make good where they've been putting the drainage in. It's got this funny feeling it's going to be crows galore about 20 minutes after they move on. I suppose that'll add to the fun, because then the bird patrol guy will have to come and loose a few rounds off to show them off. Adds to the airport atmosphere. Jolande Postima, hello from the Netherlands. Oh well, you're just in time for a KLM. Welcome back to the show, because I know I've said hello to you before. Forgettable as I am, of course, I'm Mark, your host, but Yolandi, we've said hi before, I know we have. Thanks for joining us this lovely Monday morning. Not lovely necessarily in sunshine terms, but it's quite mild here at Edinburgh. Some nice planes on show, and the company is top of the shop. Oh, you might get a bit of train action in the top left of your picture. I see a train tazzing along. Will it make it in time? There you go. Wow. That's a fairly stately speed, isn't it? I don't think it would be out of kilter with the King's coronation. Very stately. Anyway, holding. I can't see anything on finals. Gives me a chance to have a quick look in the chat. Michelle, your West Atlantic cargo boys all neatly parked up. So we do have a plain Loganair ERJ 145 in from Southampton, just crossing into the Firth of Forth and about to make its turn. So flight radar says 4 minutes, probably 5 or 6. I can't believe this is holding for that. It must be an air traffic issue further along the journey, along the flight plan. Sky doesn't look particularly busy, or excessively busy certainly. So the few transponding on the deck now. Oh no, they're not. I lie. That's a telescope moment almost. I've gone back to Glasgow there. Oh man alive. So just looking at, I'm just having a quick look, see at the departures actually, see how we're faring. This isn't actually due to go till 9:40, so actually they are just ready good and early. Another train in the background as permission seems to be given to line up. Check out the next train. Turn and burn, you can feel it, can't you? You can hear it. Our grass seeders at it, now they're a bit further away, give you a at a distance shot. Anyway, we'll leave them to their labours. And we'll just rest up with this British Airways A320 while we await Loganair to, oh, I can see actually, I can see it's on finals now. Miles Harrison, enjoy your dinner, mate. Enjoy your tucker. Catch you next time, buddy. Good morning, Graham Leggett. Welcome back to the show, buddy. Nice to see you. Hope Monday's got off to a decent start for you. Thanks, Ken, for confirming our Loganair is in fact the ERJ 145 from Southampton. And I have to say, QC, that did sound a bit rocketish. It was a lovely sound. And as Michelle reflects, that grin, yeah, it's a lovely smiley face. Oh, It looks like somebody's on the move. Is it going to be another Logan Air, I think, under the principle 1 in, 1 out? The only question I'm asking myself is, why is it going that way? You know, I feared we might have a runway change by 10 o'clock, folks. Let's have the incomer. I've got a hunch we're on a runway change. Let's just stay with this. I think we are swapping over, folks. If we are, we will go to our contingency plan, which will be me shoving all this stuff in a bag, I think, and rebooting the show from the other side of the airport. Quick sense check in the chat. Are folks comfortable with that? I think the thing is, if I keep streaming from here, the takeoffs will be well on their way by the time you see them here, and you won't get to see the landings particularly well, which kind of feels like I'm shortchanging you. So let's just confirm before I start pulling things to bits that we are on a change. The windsock, let's just go back to the windsock, is pretty much devoid of life. So it's interesting that they have gone at it this way, but we will stay with this Logan Air for the moment. Let's be certain they've switched the runways. Oh, by jingo. So thank you everybody, awesome support so far in today's stream. Lots of familiar friendly faces on the chat, which really does make it such a great place to be. As always, a special shout out to our moderators who were front and centre of that. Ken Alloway, Alibi 58, Dopey Gorp on the chat today. Our other mod LW working. But yeah, it's such a great chemistry of people. Yeah, I think that's a runway change, folks. As soon as that one goes up, unless anyone's going to vote in the opposite direction, I'm going to say, oh no, we will restart the stream at, I'll aim for 11 o'clock, but 10:45, because I'll have to go on my laptop and just, I've got a contingency thumbnail set up for this, I just need to turn it public. Might give me a chance to sort my sound fault out. So we look like we're going to be getting 06 operations, folks. So you get 2 for the price of 1 in this show, because actually some of the views are pretty good that side as well, particularly when the planes taxi out to line up. You get to see them good and close. Yeah, so thanks Tony, that doubles down on it. There we go. Okay then, so put the camera at rest while I take stock of developments. Right, in which case I'm going to close the stream down and strike us back up again. I'll aim for 10:45, It might be 11, it won't be afterwards. The car's only 5 minutes from where I'm standing. Most of this stuff will just fit back in a box. 15 minutes there by car, 15 minutes to set up. Bit of a fudge factor for traffic. Okay, in which case I'll close us down. I'm guessing everybody, no one's expressing a particular view in the opposite direction, but I think if all I give you is takeoffs, it kind of feels like I'm shortchanging you a little bit. So I'll see everybody, or hopefully everybody, in an hour's time. Time for a brew, bite to eat, knock off a couple of errands, whatever best makes the flow of the day, and I look forward to seeing everybody at 11:15. Oh, hi Clyde Wotton. I was just explaining to everybody that we are going to swap to the other side of the runway as they've just changed ops here, and I think it's better for the show and for your enjoyment if we do that. So see you shortly. We're looking to go back up at 10:45, between 10:45 and 10:45. Catch you later.